and welcome to the Shakespeare Report. I am thy host, Lydia Anderson. On this day, August 28th, 1623, there are sunny skies ahead, with the temperature settling in right around 75 degrees. We have breaking news for all of you dear listeners today. A release of one of Shakespeare's plays has been announced, The Comedy of Errors. Stay tuned for a sneak peek of Act 4, Scene 1. For those of you that are new to this program, I will fill you in about this very famous playwright, William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, aka the Bard of Avon, was speculated to be born in 1564. His exact date of birth is unknown, but we do know that this unparalleled author was baptized officially on April 26, 1564. Nowadays, the world officially celebrates his birthday on April 23rd of each year. Shakespeare spent most of his early life in his hometown, Stratford-upon-Avon, in Warwickshire. The high status of Shakespeare's parents allowed him to attend a grammar school in his hometown. At the early age of 18, instead of attending the university, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway. Together they had 3 children, Susanna, Hamnet, and Judith. Sadly, Anne and William's son Hamnet died at age 11. William Shakespeare was an author, poet, and playwright, considered the best by many. His works include 38 plays, 154 sonnets, and many poems. Many of his works included some deeper meaning or lesson to be learned. Some of his most popular plays include A Midsummer's Night Dream, Romeo and Juliet, and Hamlet. Shakespeare's career took off around 1594. From this date on, he was a member of Lord Chamberlain's men. To make his career even more successful, Shakespeare established his own theater called the Globe. The Globe was built in London in the year 1599. Shakespeare built this theater for Lord Chamberlain's Men Company to perform his plays. Hopefully now you new listeners understand a little bit more about William Shakespeare. To get back to the main report, Shakespeare's first folio has just been released. The Comedy of Errors is one of many other plays in this first folio. This play is one of Shakespeare's earlier plays, speculated to be written around 1589. While many say this play lacks depth and deeper meaning, it does not fall short in the category of laughter. This comedy is about 2 sets of twins who get separated at birth. The story begins when a successful merchant, Aegeon, and his wife, Amelia, have identical twin boys while they are on vacation. These boys are so identical that the only way to tell them apart was by their name. Coincidentally, another poor woman staying at the same inn gives birth to another set of twins on the same night. These twins are equally as identical as the first 2. The poor woman who gave birth had to sell her children to Aegeon for her to live, and thus her twins would act as servants for their whole lives for the twins of Aegeon and Amelia. Aegeon and Amelia are on their way home to Syracuse after a fun vacation when a terrible storm hits. The storm just so happens to be so bad that it rips the entire ship in half. Aegeon, holding one boy from each mother, is separated from his wife, who holds the other 2 non-identical children. Luckily, 2 amicable ships came to their rescue. As these ships were on their way home to safely deliver each parent and their child home, the ships got separated. In his grief, Aegeon renames the 2 non-identical boys that he has after their brothers that Amelia has. Confused yet? Well, just wait, it gets worse. Antipholus and Dromio, the boys that Aegeon has and renames, eventually grow up and want to go in search of their long-lost twins. They search to the ends of the earth until one day they end up in a place called Ephesus, which also happens to be where their twin brothers reside. Since the 2 sets of twins closely resemble their brothers, and since they have the same names, great confusion arises among the people of Ephesus. Let's take a look at one of these chaotic scenes in which the people of Ephesus have mistaken Antipholus of Syracuse for Antipholus of Ephesus. You know, since Pentecost the sum is due, and since I have not much importuned you, nor now I had not, but that I am bound, to Persia and want guilders for my voyage. Therefore make present satisfaction, or attach you by this officer. Even just the sum that I do owe you is growing to me by Antipholus, and in the instant that I met with you, he had of me a chain at 5 o'clock. I shall receive the money for the same. Pleaseth, you walk with me down to his house, I will discharge my bond and thank you too. While I go to the goldsmith house, go thou and buy a rope's end, that I will bestow among my wife and her confederates for locking me out of my doors by day. But soft, I see the goldsmith. Get thee gone, buy thou a rope and bring it home to me. I buy £1,000 a year, I buy a rope. A man is well to hope that trusts you. I promised your presents and the chain, but neither the chain nor goldsmith came to me. Belike you thought our love would last too long, if it were chained together and therefore came not. Saving your merry humor, here's the note, how much your chain weighs to the utmost carat, the fineness of gold and chargeful fashion, which doth amount to the 3 odds ducats more, than I stand debted to this gentleman. I pray you, see him presently discharged, for he is bound to see, but stays for it. I am not furnished with the present money. Besides, I have some business in the town. Good Signor, take the stranger to my house, and with you take the chain and bid my wife disperse the sum of receipt thereof. Perchance I will be there as soon as you. Then you will bring the chain to her yourself? No, bear it with you, lest I come not time enough. Well, sir, I will. Have you the chain about you? And if I have not, sir, I hope you have, or else you may return without your money. Nay, come, I pray you, sir, give me the chain. Both wind and tide stays for this gentleman, and I, to blame, have held him here for too long. Good Lord, you use this dalliance to excuse your breach of promise to the porpentine. I should have chid you for not bringing it, but like a shrew, you first begin to brawl. The hour steals on. I pray you, sir, dispatch. You hear how he importunes me? The chain! Why, give it to my wife and fetch your money. Come, you know I gave it to you, even now. Either send the chain or send me by some token. Fine, now you run this humor out of breath. Where's the chain? I pray you, let me see it. My business cannot brook this dalliance. Good sir, say whether you answer me or no. If not, I'll leave him to the officer. I answer you. What should I answer you? The money that you owe me for the chain. I owe you none till I receive the chain. You know I gave it to you half an hour since. You gave me none. You wrong me much to say so. You wrong me more, sir, in denying it. Consider how it stands upon my credit. Well, officer, arrest him at my suit. This touches me in reputation. Either consent to pay this sum for me, or I attach you by this officer. Consent to pay thee that I never had. Arrest me, foolish fellow, if thou darest. Here is thy fee. Arrest him, officer. I would not spare my brother in this case, if he should scorn me so apparently. I do obey thee till I give thee bail. But, sirrah, you shall buy this sport as dear as all the metal in your shop will answer. Sir, I will have law in Ephesus. To your notorious name, I doubt it not. As you can see, the Antipholuses and Dromios are causing great chaos in the city. To see how things end up, well, you'll just have to see the play for yourself. Since the Comedy of Errors is one of Shakespeare's earlier plays, there had been a lot of criticism on this work. Many speculate that this play is lacking depth because Shakespeare was just starting out as a playwright when he wrote this play. Criticism arises around the fact that this play heavily uses farce elements. Farce is the type of play that uses over-the-top humor and plots that are improbable or very unlikely to happen just by chance. Because of this, critics say that the play lacks depth and developed characters, unlike Shakespeare's other works that have a deeper meaning. To sum up some of these other negative feelings towards the play, eNotes.com says that, quote, "The Comedy of Errors has often been derided as an immature effort," unquote. However, more critics with more positive points of view say that there are underlying elements of romanticism and a search for oneself theme. In my opinion, though, I think this play provided a good laugh. Sure, the chances of 2 sets of identical twins being born at the same time in the exact same hotel is highly improbable, but it sure makes for a funny plot. This play deviates from the norm of heavy and sometimes tragic themes of other Shakespearean works that I have read. Well, folks, that's the end of our segment. Stay tuned for an update on the 30 Years' War at 10. How do I know it lasts 30 years? Let's just say it's an educated guess. Catch you next week on the Shakespeare Report.